And I mean that. Okay, so just so you know, like, as with Facebook Lives, I'll be reading your comments. So if you're, say whatever you feel safe to say. I just feel like I want to say that just to kind of offer you that ability to be in the know. But I'm not here to like share anyone's private information or anything like that. I work with advertising, so I'm not like, I know all about that. I'm not really interested in that. Anyway, getting too into it. So I wanted to talk about the number 9. So I'm a Virgo, and it's amazing because Virgo in the tarot, right, is actually the 9th card, and is also the Hermit, which is this guy here. And the Hermit is, oh yes, I hope you get a new laptop too. And don't worry, if you can't ever join Zoom, Facebook Live is great. I appreciate, I don't know if anyone who's here has filled out my survey, but it seems like Facebook Live is like very popular. So I might, I'm really trying to figure out how I can keep that going, keep myself kind of where people want to see me. So that's cool too. Um, anyway, sorry, I feel like I was rambling. So I wanted to talk about number 9. And I'm not trying to interrupt anyone either, even on Facebook. That's, I'm just trying to follow my own train of thought. But so all I was gonna say is the Hermit is in the tarot, and the Hermit is the 9th card in the tarot. 9 is also the 9th month, which is great, one of the months of Virgo. So there's a lot of this work that is very Virgo-like that goes in with the vibration and the frequency of the number 9. And so I really like how that all kind of connects. For those who may be beginners to numerology or to mystical practice, numerology, or I guess the numerology of the number 9 is a number of completion. And it's, of course, the last in the single digit numbers, which often are kind of considered the basis of all numerologies, 1 to 9 and 0 in a way, having its own meaning. So 9 really represents the end of a cycle. 9 is the ending of that single digit set and moving into an entirely new way of being if you get into that 10 space, because that's a 1 and a 0. And I don't mean to get too in the weeds, but what I'm really trying to express is that 9 is really the culmination. And it's a symbolic culmination in which there is great wisdom and great experience. It's kind of like an ending that often breathes life into a new beginning. And what's also really interesting about the number 9 is that it kind of aligns us into the entire experience and story we've had previously, so that as we're moving with that, not as we're moving through our story, we have really, by the end of the journey, it's not that we've let go or we've walked away. It's kind of like, the best way to describe it is to say, let's say you had a relationship with someone, and it was a relationship that was going to end sourly. And I don't mean to use a bad example, but thinking of it in terms of, like, let's say the beginning, the 1 is the meeting in a way, right? The 2 is the sort of courtship, the beginning of the friendship, and you're building it. The 5 is when you have maybe your fight. The 6 is when perhaps you make up, but the 7 is maybe when you realize it's not worth it. Or the 6 can be, or how do I express this? I think it's like the 5 would be the conflict in a way. The 6 is kind of maybe you taking time to feel better about yourself afterwards. The 7 is really understanding, why do I not want to be treated this way? The 8 is the letting go. And then the 9 is really kind of clicking into place. Then maybe this isn't a relationship I want in the future. So that's kind of a journey. And yeah, and I feel like that's in a way what it's about, is like, positive ways A nine could be a marriage, right? At the beginning and end of a journey, you come together, you you are together, you fight, you make up, you decide to stay, you decide to let go of a part of yourself that might have been young, might have been, not understanding. I think I see Jay out there. Hi, Jay. If you are out there, much love to you, wherever you are today. And no need to respond, of course, but I just wanted to send you some love. And what was I going to say? So, 7 is realizing maybe there's things that you want to change in yourself. 8 is choosing to let go of the parts of yourself that aren't going to work with a relationship. 9 is the marriage, the next step, the end of just being spouses and the beginning of a partnership. I love you too, Jay. It's so great to see you. Much love to you, really. Just like, you're just so wonderful. Um, yeah. So those are examples of number 9. And so, well, all I'm trying to say is it's a time of true changing, because it's the kind of final end. And the reason that I see it connects to the Hermit. Right back at you too, Jay. Right back at you too. I um I I appreciate you, and I know it's been a while, but you're always in my heart. Um, yeah, and so what was I gonna say? Oh, so the it's really a clicking to place in which the fullness of a change has come to fruition, and it's kind of amazing because the 9th month is connected to the harvest season, right? September and fall and the equinox are all related to the Hermit. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Oh, Hannah, thank you. You're so sweet. I try my best. Thank you, Melissa, for the reminder. So the Hermit. I'll just say the one thing about the equinox, which if you're on my newsletter, check out. I'll be promoting the equinox event starting next week. Hope to be building it this weekend. Um, so when you think of like September 9th month, it's equinox, right? It's equinox season. And it's also the time of the harvest, of the growing, of the abundance, and of the like what we've been planting and farming. And it's like we are reaping what we're sowing, and we're coming to an end. Now, to speak to the Hermit, which I also wanted to just speak on briefly, is like what's amazing about the Hermit is, for better or for worse, and I know that I have my own Hermit tendencies that I need to work on, like personally, literally. Um, for better or for worse, the Hermit is someone who's so in touch with the self that the withdrawing that the Hermit does is one in which the Hermit is, I should say, kind of in a full encapsulation and in a full wholeness, that kind of like, it's like the Hermit is like the wise sage who at the end of their journey is like, now I'm just going to hold that wisdom and be a wisdom keeper. And that's what I love about the Hermit. And so it kind of makes sense to me that the Hermit is about endings. Perhaps the Hermit, of course, can be too self-isolated, and no hermit should be. um you know the hermits were often the shamans or the healers. And so if you were a hermit, you probably had people coming to you because they needed your help. And at the same time, you benefited from being near a community as well and kind of creating your own space. And thank you, Javanique. That's so sweet of you. I'm happy to share and reflect your own gentle vibes, excuse me, back at you, because it's so well deserved. Um, so that I think it's really a great time to welcome in a completion and a peace. Sometimes it's an ending which is sort of painful. But I think that even painful endings can be done in a way that is for our betterment. Because if you're fighting with someone who doesn't care about hurting you on the way out, it's probably better you moved on. So we're kind of going to be working with that and working with kind of, let me see, I think I see comment. Oh yeah, thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I feel like, it's kind of anything I've learned from the mystical, I feel like has been like, oh, it all clicks into place now, which is always, it's because we're already holding the wisdom. We already, these are things in the Sufi way, I should say. The idea is that we're already born knowing everything there is about the universe. But it's just about kind of lifting the veils so that we are more in touch with our knowledge. So I appreciate that. In a way, it's you coming into yourself as well. So what was I going to say? I think that's everything that I wanted to say about the 9. But I'm just checking my notes here. Okay. Oh, I like this. Okay. So the final thing I'll talk about is, as we spoke about the wisdom is, I think, the number 1 here. And for those who did come to New Moon in Virgo, very grateful to you. Thank you. I've been speaking a lot about what I call the triple god, which is Mercury in his 3 phases. Because I love the triple goddess, and I think there's great beauty in working with the maiden, the mother, and the crone. But Mercury kind of exists as this amazing being who is also the child, the man, and the hermit, or the wisdom keeper, the wise sage. And I'm a Virgo, so I'm ruled by Mercury. I'm ruled by this wise sage. And I feel like how fitting that, and I'll explain what I mean and what I'm talking about with this triple god stuff in just a moment. But I feel like how fitting that the hermit and the 9 and the sort of wisdom number in which everything ends and you understand the story falls under Virgo season, which is Mercury, who is a wisdom keeper. It's amazing, the alignment. So what the heck am I talking about with the triple god? This is the final thing I'll say, and then we'll go into the meditation. And I should have played some music, but I think it's a little, I'm not sure how I can do that. So I welcome you to kind of play anything in your own background as well, because I know I've like just got silence right now. Anyway, what is the triple god? Mercury, he is the child, the man, and the hermit. He is the child, the white man, and the sage. Because in ancient Greece, Hermes, as we know him, is a child in a way. He's a young man. He's he's kind of a trickster. Also, Mercury is a trickster, and I love trickster energy, and we can talk about that as well. But I would say if you're welcoming in the trickster today, just be careful. I gave the example in New Moon. Not sure if anyone was there for that part, but Wile E. Coyote. Coyote is one of the ultimate tricksters in the Indigenous American way, and I honor that as someone who's living on American soil. The original keepers of this land, saw the coyote as a trickster. But when we think of like Wile E. Coyote, right, and the Roadrunner who's always like cheating him, Wile E. Coyote can run as long as he doesn't look down and see that there's no more mountain underneath him. And so, like, that's the thing. Be careful with the trickster, because you might be running and then you realize there's no more ground beneath you. So just be careful. And if the trickster comes and you're seeing him and there's something to be said, let's talk, because I'd love to support you through that. Even though I know I'm my hermit self and I'm truly terrible with email, I'd love to talk if you're seeing the trickster, because I think it's important to really understand what that means. And oh, great, you do remember. I know we talked a little bit about it in the meditation, And I couldn't remember how much I put the lecture on Facebook, so I'm glad you remember. But yeah, so the triple god. So he's a trickster, right? Hermes, he's kind of a little bit of a prankster, but he's also he's great Mercury energy, and he's also a keeper of medical wisdom. He's a keeper of, he's a, he's one who runs. I see a question. How do you see the trickster? Well, I guess what I mean is, because I think that's a fair question. First of all, we're about to go into the meditation. So it's, if you see him in the meditation, if you see a trickster, or you see Mercury coming to you as a trickster, you can feel it, that there's like the winking, the kind of humor of it, but also the pranking, the sort of universal joke kind of energy. You'll know it when you see it, but I guess it's also like if you're seeing coyotes or crows everywhere, or who's another great universal trickster? Some might see Anansi the spider, but it's sort of like if you start to see it as a repeating symbol in your life, that's when you'll know the tricks are speaking to you. Or if you go into meditation and someone steps forward for you, that's another way. For example, Ninurta, who I consider kind of like my spiritual father. He's not a trickster, he's a warrior, but he, I'll just hold it just for a second so you can really see him. That's him there, and he's fighting this monster. For example, I was in ceremony and he came to me in ceremony for the first time in a meditation. And he basically said, I'm here for you. And I said, oh, okay. Like, I don't even know what that means. But then I came to find out what it means. And it comes through time and meditation and prayer and kind of learning your own spirit in a way. And soon you'll realize the spirits have been talking to you all along. At least that's what I find. Or they're talking to you all the time, all along, I guess I should say. So you'll know it when you see it, but if you're wondering if you're seeing it, you're welcome to ask me about that too. So who's the man? Who's the Mercury man? Thoth or Tehot from ancient Egypt. He is the interesting. I think you get you. Yeah, I hope so. And if you don't, we can always talk as well. What I mostly am trying to say is like the spirit of if you're like spirit comes to us in funny ways. So you'll kind of know when it's trying to talk to you. And if you're not feeling it, then you're not feeling it. But if you are, then you are. So like when I see like I literally, someone said coyote to me. Someone was like, oh, you should, someone said, oh, well, I got this coyote knife for my medicine work. And my teacher said, stay away from coyote. Or one teacher did. And then the other one said, no, I think Leia should work with coyote. And I was thinking to myself, I don't know what this means. Like, what are you guys talking about even? But then I immediately started to just think about coyote all the time, nonstop. Coyote would appear to me in my thoughts, like literally be going through my day and be like, coyotes are really cool. And go away. And then I'd go and think coyotes are really interesting. And so it's like that. It's like something will repeat for you, and that's when you know they're communicating to you. So what am I talking about? Oh, so Tahot, Thoth, if you're not familiar with him, he's over there, and it's a little hard to get him right now, but he's over on my altar. And Tahot he's the ibis headed, so he's got this big, long bird's beak for a head. And he is he's the keeper of wisdom, divine magic. He's a sorcerer. He's the first sorcerer. And oh, welcome, Nadja. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're welcome to join if the meditation feels right, but it's okay if you don't as well. But it's nice to see you. Much love to you and Caleb. Thank you so much. So Tahot Thoth, he's also Mercury. And he's a writer, and he's a justice bringer, and he's a knowledge keeper. And so he's the man. And who's the final set of this but Odin? And Odin in the Norse tradition is also Mercury, but he's the old man and he's the wise sage. And so in a way, he's the hermit too. And so what I like to say is the trickster's always winking, and Odin only winks because he only has one eye. So he's always winking at us. So all this to say, Mercury, who rules Virgo season on this 9/9 activation portal, and now it's 9 o'clock, are perfect energies to be married with the 9 because they're all wisdom keepers. 9 is a wisdom keeper. Mercury is a wisdom keeper. Hermes is a wisdom keeper. Thoth is a wisdom keeper. And Odin is a wisdom keeper. So we're here to be with our wisdom and to release as much as we can tonight, what's in our power. That which is not in keeping with our wisdom. So I think we're ready to meditate. I think we're ready. This is going to be a shorter one. It's not going to be the full 2 hours, probably more like 25 minutes to a half an hour. So let's get started. I'm going to see what I can do about playing some music because I feel like totally silent is a little hard for me personally. But what I'd love is if anyone can confirm for me when I'm playing the music, if you can still hear me okay, because that's going to be the real crux of the issue, I think. It's just a second. Oh, actually, this is what I'll do. I figured it out, everyone. But still, just let me know if you can hear me when I'm speaking. Can you hear me? I guess. And can you hear the music? Can you hear my voice? And can you hear the music? Yes? Okay, great. So let's do some breath work. I like to start with breath work. Everyone get into a comfortable position. We're here today under this numerological portal and gateway, and I'll be bringing out. Yes, you can all hear me. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Okay. So we're going to begin with some breath work, and I'm going to just say a prayer for all of us today. I'm going to be speaking in Arabic, but you're welcome to call in all of your guides and your allies at this time, and I'm going to begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. Let's begin with the breath work. I'm going to be saying 9, and when I say 9, we breathe in. And when I say 9, we breathe out. We're doing this now to kind of bring a quick clearance of the mind and the body. So we'll begin 9. 9, breathe out. 9, breathe in. 9, breathe out. 9, breathe in. 9, breathe out. Now I'm just going to say 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. And we're going to do about 2 more here. at least. And as we do so, I invite you to really bring in a relaxation to your body and to allowing yourself to put aside any other people right now, any other vibrations, any worries of the to-do lists or what went on today. Today, we now, in this moment, we're just going to breathe, bringing ourselves into center, bringing ourselves into the moment. So breathing in 9, breathing out 9. You may even want to put your mind and your eyes, so to speak, your third eye awakening into your heart space. What I mean by that is your awareness into your heart space as well. Breathing in 9, 9, 9, 9. One more time, 9 and 9. And I feel called to play the rattle. So I'm going to play a little bit. And as I'm rattling, let's welcome in a kind of soft healing to our aura and to our body. Starting at the crown and feeling that gateway within us. Move down to the third eye. Feeling if there's thoughts coming up, deepness, acknowledge them, and let them pass. We can't change it all in every minute of every day. Sometimes we can just take time for ourselves. the rattle's too loud, thank you for that. Still trying to figure out the Facebook Live. Now we're going to focus on the stomach and the sacrum and the root together. And just take some time here. I'm just going to rattle and just be with it. Just be with your body. Give it a little bit of kindness and love. We are here. Breath in. One big breath out now. We're all together here in the present. All together. Across space and time, we move together in community into our own council, in our temple of healing, our temple of magic and wonder, sorcery, of the wisdom of our ancestors. Together now, we are coming into communion, into the Great Spirit, the wisdom, the awareness of the great realms beyond our physical. And in this temple today is a portal, a 9/9 numerological gateway. But before we begin, I see Odin coming forth, the great wisdom keeper, the wise sage, and his crows are here too. The keeper of writing, the keeper of the gallows, psychopomp, one who, along with his counterparts now also coming in, Thoth and Hermes, help to tailor and remove our past energy so that it may return to the realm of the dead, or perhaps the nether realm, or perhaps just the spirits of that which do not have any place in our bodies anymore. We are surrounded by Mercury in all faces, and by your guides, your ancestors, your Orishas, if they are there for you, your practitioners, your priests, your little people, taking a moment, seeing who's there for you and how they appear to you in this temple, meant just for you, just for us. See it and take it in. You may be in a hut or a cottage. You may be in a great pyramid or a ziggurat or a sweat lodge. You will know where you are, and you may feel that you are in an exalted place, surrounded by exalted beings. These beings are here now to create a network and a web around us, around you, so that you may see in your cosmic tree, your cosmic life, body, mind, that you are here, and that your self is full of divine beauty and radiance. And if there are sick branches or knots in the web of these beings, in the web of your life, now is a good time to cut away at the energy that is sick within us, and to let it, just as the past, be given now, be given away. Knowing that as we are on this planet to accept divine abundance and to receive the many gifts of this universe, we are also coming into the knowledge of how best to give with the right intentions, coming from the right place. We learn to receive and we learn to give, and sometimes we learn to give away so that we may become even more radiant, even more exalted. Energies are one great vortex, spiraling electricity, a gentle tornado of thought and fiery spirit and flesh and bone and emotional blood, the waters. We are our own storms, and we have carried much as we, so to speak, hit land. As we touch the ground, there is much that comes with us. And just taking a moment to know that great power of the storm within us, of the lightning and the thunder and the rain and the clouds and the winds. There is a great, powerful being behind the one who touches the ground. Mighty wisdom within you. So release your grip on needing to be anything right now. Release all grip and tension or feelings that perhaps you are missing something, or that you are our storms. We are busy-minded, busy-bodied. We hold much within us, and that is our true grace. That is our true gift. And now Mercury comes forth, and as we are giving away, he, in his many forms, is taking away tendrils from our storm, tornado, vortex self, and simply carrying them to the great beyonds, allowing for these shifts now, allowing. These are the faces of writing, and so as they take away that which doesn't serve us today, they know and let us know, and so that we too come to our knowledge that our story can always be rewritten, and that the narrative so far has all been a part of the master plan of growth in the universe. And they understand that there is no shame or guilt to knowing. For the only way that we know is through learning and through lesson. And the tendrils fall away, fall away. We do not need to grip onto a reality that already exists, that always existed before us, and always will exist after us. We have always been here, in the stones, in the fish, in the birds, in the great reptiles, in the mice, in the monkeys, in the primates, in the early humans. We have always been here, and we will always be here. We will be as the stars, watching, expanding. And so I invite us now to do some deep breath work into fully expanding and noticing if through this expansion there is any wisdom or any lesson taught to you now, kindly, gently, so that you may simply understand a bit more about yourself and about who you are and about the love that you carry in our sacred secret, the mystery that is within us all. Let us breathe and expand. 9 and 9. As we breathe in, we expand, and as we breathe out, we expand farther. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. One more time. 9, 9. And actually, we'll keep going for a moment. 9, 9, 9, 9. One more time. This is our final breath, our full expansion. 9 and 9. Sitting in this space of expanded self, like an eggshell that has grown far beyond your home, beyond your planet, beyond moving into the many corners of the multiverse, connecting to all the people and seeing that we are all one. We are great and we are many. And as we are turning our attention around to this great universe, let's also bring our attention now to the number 9. Mercury is around us again. Hermit energy. I feel with me the great Inanna Ishtar and Hathor and Isis, Sekhmet, Durga Ma, and Freya. The great goddesses and the great gods come together. And the blessing that we receive from them is simply the number 9's transmittance, that we can allow a story now to come to an end. And we do not have to be concerned about consequence or about the feelings and needs of others. We are simply letting it end with the number 9. Their hands all around us now. They bless us, and I ask that my body be the channel. Apologies for the sound, I just closed. And these channels, we are connecting goddesses, gods, sages, travelers, keepers of stories and writing. We beseech you all to let our story end, so that we are no longer caught in the emotional web. We are no longer a survivor constantly. We are no longer only buoyed by the tides. We do not have to be triggered and re-triggered where we are not welcome. Instead, that which is not welcome to us is cut away with the sword of the nine and sent by those who are the psychopomps, Hermes, Thoth, and Odin. That which needs an end is judged on those scales, and he sends them where they must go, on the backs of the wings of Hermes. As Odin's great wisdom is given to us now, the wisdom with which he gave his eye, the wisdom in which he sacrificed greatly and created an end to the able-bodied self so that he could come to us as a sage and a knowledge bringer. Let it end, let it end, let it be ended. We don't have to think anymore about the people or who they could have been or who they should have been. No, it's over. The situations are over. Our story, as it was told, is over. Let's take one breath, 2 breaths here. In the acceptance of a chapter in our lives ending now. Even if you cannot think of anything to end, simply let the number 9 bless you and a divine ending that you deserve. Breathing in as we receive these blessings now. 9 and 9. 9 and 9. I will share that as I have also been blessed, as Odin, with my own wonky eye, what changed me taught me how to whistle. For I wasn't born with that ability, but only through my own story have I learned something as basic and beautiful as whistling. Even that which scars us blesses us. And as we come to that acceptance, we see now in our temple that that 9-9 doorway is opening. The gateway is there, showing us rainbows and sea foam and bubbles and clouds. And we are carried and held and swaddled. And we are dressed so that we may, in a moment, go through this portal. Take your time to thank the many beings that came for you today, and thank them for the journey ahead through the doorway. And now we are carried, as if on our own sea foam cloud, to that precipice and that portal. And so we enter into the wild unknown, and that 9 doorway swings shut. For that door is closed now. And we are moving to the great beyond. Take a moment now in this space and just receive anything you need to for a future in which you can be changed. I'm seeing around us a great Merkaba star, a crystalline form. And I'm going to bless us with Labradorite camellia. Let us be the surfer across the lightning in our own uniqueness, and at the same time blessed by holy union, by incredible luck to be able to blend in with new vibration and frequency at all times, and yet still be our uniquely colored and patched selves, where we once were storm. May we be wise clouds of drizzles. May we be the tree, the great world tree, always moving, though imperceptibly, and always in connection with our destiny, our fate, those helper spirits and blessings that are meant for us. Receive a final blessing here now. I'm going to bless us with hematite rose quartz, grounding us into deep love, deep love that grounds us and roots us like the trees. Deep love, deep love. Resting into a love that we can be changed, we can be loved, we can be changed, and we can be loved. Letting that resonate through our body, mind, through our nerve endings, through our flesh, our mind, our waters, ground all of it into love eternally through this multiverse of many. Let us be grounded into love always. And that's it for today. Thank you all for being here, for joining me on this journey. To those who commented, those who were just here to receive, I thank you all so humbly much. And I will be making this available on YouTube, and it'll be on Facebook, so you can come to it again later. Oh, let me stop the recording.